You remember there was the era of the big idea,
Right.
which was all about creativity. Now there's so many folks that are bringing ideas to clients, whereas that used to be the purview of the
Right.
advertising agency. So as those value, lines blur about with a variety of new competitors, 10 years from now, is a traditional agency going to be there in the way it's formatted?
Well, I don't think the traditional agency is the same today as it was 10 years ago. Yeah. So, what I believe in, we're an advice model, and we have agnostic perspectives on everything. And what I see in this industry right now is we have a lot of technology companies trying to gain market share, but they are biased. They're biased in favor of their technology. They're biased in favor of their platform. We get paid to advise clients to what's in their best interest. We don't have a vested interest in terms of where we place media. We don't have a vested interest in how we distribute. And all of that is what we add to the table. So I think the new model for our industry is the integrated offering that is agnostic but has the expertise to understand the various technologies and outlets that are out there.
There will also be a further, and you see that at CS, a blurring of the lines. So when people talk about who our competitors are, we think about Omnicom, or we think about Publicis, or we think about IPG, or we think about Havas, or we think about Dentsu, clearly, or we think about Ipsos, or we think about GfK, or we think about Nielsen. But we also think about Google, we also think about Facebook, we also think about Amazon, we also think about Alibaba. We also think about Deloitte Consulting. We also think about companies like, that are in the consulting business, like an Accenture or whatever it happens to be. Those lines are going to get more and more blurred. You see what Salesforce.com is trying to do. You see what Adobe is trying to do. You see what Oracle, with Datalogics just before Christmas is trying to do. This is all a blurring of the lines. Now, whether those companies have the capabilities that we have, we certainly don't have some of the capabilities that they have. Whether they have the capabilities that we have, they are about to find out. I mean, I think if I look at history, even it's a very brief history to date, they don't have those capabilities. Whether they call them left brain and right brain, and I never remember which is which, but if we've got the left brain and they've got the right brain, or vice versa, you put the two brains together, you have something different. So I see more consolidation and a more blurring of the lines.
So given the pace of change and how it's accelerated, what's the agency of the future look like?
The agency of the future is the Sherpa of a complex landscape for clients who have neither the time nor the interest. The agency of the future is the one that leads them through the change the most effectively and is the most trusted advisor. The agency of the future has different kinds of people than we had when television platforms were essential to an agency future. One of the people that we'll see coming to the fore will be what I call the quant poets. Those people who are emotionally creative, super expressive, but are grounded in the analytics and data.
Five years from now, what do you think the greatest change will be in our industry, and what will drive it?
Yeah, I think there's a concept I've been thinking a lot about, which is what I call the reverse economy, and I think that you know, 5 years from now, you'll start to see major things, and the simplest way to think about it is almost every major corporation in America gets a benefit from you as an individual consumer. You drive to a store, you give people all your data online, those things, and corporations make a tremendous amount of profit and benefit from individual consumers, basically giving their time, energy, and data and money, you know, to the companies. And I think what's going to happen is the more that technology and the Internet of Things comes in and individuals are more recognized in terms of what their wants, needs, and desires are, you're going to have the economics change a lot, and you're going to have the economy go in reverse, which is the individual consumer is going to get more benefit than the corporations will get. And I think what will happen is you'll get to the point where instead of you as a consumer going out to look for everything you need and want, those things will come to you, and you'll have a much better economic situation as a consumer. You'll spend less time looking for things, you'll get value from your own data, and you will basically essentially become more of your own profit center as a consumer. And I think that's a really big change, because the entire world has been built on consumers using their time, energy, and money to go get things in the economy, and I think the economy is going to come to the consumer. And I think the data changes, the Internet of Things, mobile connectivity, those things will absolutely reverse the economic flow in the economy. And it may take longer than 5 years, but it feels clear to me at least that individuals are going to be a lot more empowered in the economy than corporations are in the future, and I think that's a really important change.
What's our industry look like?
I think it'll be much more performance-based than it is today. I think we'll be dealing with outcomes as opposed to media delivery. I believe that it'll be enabled by granularity of data, census-level data. Instead of broad-scale attribution modeling, it'll be census-level attribution calculations. Instead of product development cycles based on a typical person, everything will be based on collaborative filtering, understanding things at a census level. And I think in some ways that massive volume of data is going to complicate things, but in many ways it's going to simplify it as well. And the closest we'll be doing to modeling down the road is by creating buckets of individuals who have similar behavior patterns.